In this lesson, we're going to continue to build out our HTML structure of our web form. So let's open up our editors. In the last lesson, we looked at how we can create a group, a form group. So we also need, so we're already asking for a name. So let's update this to ask for an email as well. So what we can do to save some time is just copy and paste that form group and then just update the attributes. And before actually I do that, I'm going to update some more, add in some Bootstrap classes into our name field here. So the idea is that what I want to do is have essentially the name and then the field right beside it. So I want to create a column with a call span of maybe 2, and then we can have for the input area a call span of roughly around 10. So that will give us a nice division between the two different sections. So let's give a call span. So attaching a class here to the label field, and we'll do call span SM2. And we're also going to add in control label. And that's the Bootstrap class. And I'm going to separate this out with a div and separate out that content area, that input area, with a div. And then with the div, I'm going to assign a class to it. So class, and equal that to col-sm-10. So we get a total of 12 across there. Also going to add in a class in here within the input field. So we're going to just give it a class of form control. And let's check this out now. So when we refresh it, so now it's aligned better. We've got the name here on the left, so we're going to have all of the labels on the left, and we're going to have all of our content here, input area, on the right hand side. And we can see that the benefit of doing it with Bootstrap is that we get it to be responsive. So this is zoomed in a little bit more, so you can see that the breakpoint there, once it goes to the smaller screens, we're going to stack one on top of the other. And this is going to present the form in a better fashion for mobile users and anyone coming in on a responsive device. Should say smaller device. So now that we've got this form group set up, so now we can copy and paste it and update these fields. So this one is going to be email, and we just got to change the label here to email. Update its ID and its name to email, and also we're going to do HTML5, so we're going to use type of field is going to be email, so it's going to restrict it to only take in email formatted content. Placeholder there, so enter your email, or we could do something like your at email.com or something like that, so that the users can get a better idea of what type of content we're expecting within that field. So we've got the form control there. You need to enter an email value or an email. Enter or maybe we could put a valid email. And so besides the name, besides the email, let's create a form area to ask for a message. So form group, and this is going to be different. The type is going to be actually a text area, so we have to make some adjustments to this as well. So typically when you are creating a contact form, so you're going to need these values. So we've got a message or content, whatever the user is intending on sending over to you. We're going to update this to be text area. And then for text area, we have to close off text area, because the content within the text area, so this is the content that gets output there between the text area tags. And with text area, we need to also specify the number of rows and columns that we want to have. So let's get rid of, let's update these values from email to message, from name, email to message, and also let's specify the number of rows. So let's make it 4 rows. And we can update this as well. You need to enter a message. So let's check this out now. Go over to our local machine, refresh it. So there we've got the beginnings of what our form is going to look like, and of course we're going to hide these error messages as well. So I'm just keeping them on there for now so that when we are designing that form, we're going to see where they're actually going to fall into place. So a number of other things that we still need to add in, and one of them is going to be, so I'm going to copy this form group, and we need to have a button actually for the user to be able to submit content into our form. So let's add that in as well. And we're going to wrap that in another div there because this is Bootstrap, so we want to make sure that we're applying the correct class. And notice that the class here, so we've been dealing with labels here, but we don't necessarily need a label for our class. So I'm going to show you how to offset and move it over 2 columns. So first we're just going to create that input, show you what this looks like, and then we'll refresh it and update that. So the type is going to be a submit, and let's set the value there. So the value on the submit button is going to be whatever value we want shown on the button. And with Bootstrap, we've got some classes there. So we're going to just do a button and a primary button. So these are the default buttons available within Bootstrap. So it styles it really nicely and neatly. And let's give it an ID. And also let's just give it a name. So just in case we do need to pick this up on the other end, it's always a good idea to have the names. So maybe or maybe not you need to use them, but just in case, so we have that there and ready to go. So again, we're going to show you how to offset this and move this over as we progress. So let's just take a look at this, and there's our send button. Simple enough, but we do need to move it over and keep it underneath. So let's set that up and do call.sm, and we're going to offset it. So with Bootstrap, it makes it really easy to move things around within the form area. So watch, when I refresh it, the button should pop up under there. So there we go. And maybe we also want to make the button really large. So a few options there as well. So with Bootstrap, we can update the size. So we've got an option here. We can do BTN, and to make it large, BTN large. And also if we want to go full across, we could do BTN block. So let's save that and take a look at how this looks. So refresh it. And so now it's full width all the way across. So a number of different options depending on how you want to present your form. So this is essentially our basic form. In the next lesson, usually you're going to see that there's CAPTCHA or something there to make sure that you're entering a unique value. So I'm going to show you how to add that in, as well as I'm going to create a session value, because we want to prevent spam as much as possible within our form. So the way that we're going to show you in this course is how to set up a session value within PHP, and then load that session value into the form, and then when the form gets submitted, to make sure that we've got the same session value that's contained within the website. And this is only for websites or web pages that are going to be locally within your domain. So of course, if you're clicking off to another domain, you won't be able to pick up that information. So make sure that if you are doing it this way, which we're going to show you in the next lesson, that you are doing it within the same domain. If not, then you can skip over that part. So in the next lesson, we're going to show you how to add some added security to your form.